It is Sam Sermons, the Sunday Sermons, right here on Magic 107.5, 97.5, the real sound of Atlanta. And it's different because when you know someone that's really on the fast track to just take all the way off and not look back, you got to catch them before they do that. So right now, I have the honor and privilege of speaking to Iyana Halley. How are you doing today?
I am good. I like that introduction. That was perfect.
I'm just being honest. Like, I went through the IMDb and I'm like, I've seen her somewhere before. And I'm like, from This Is Us. More recently from Abbott Elementary. I mean, it's the resume is long. I'm not gonna sit here and try to pretend like I don't know who you are.
Thank God, I've been
and now
blessed.
we got the movie Beast in theaters right now. If you haven't seen it, I'm telling you, you're doing yourself a disservice. Not only do you have this wonderful actress right here that I get the privilege of speaking to, it's a Will Packer production, and Idris Elba's in the movie. So, ladies, y'all know y'all love to see him. I'm not to sell you on that, but right now I'm talking to one of the leading stars in the movie. How are you feeling with this movie under your belt now?
You know, it still feels surreal. Like, it's finally out, but I'm super excited and just grateful. I mean, again, it's a Will Packer production. I'm starring alongside Idris Elba, who is huge. So I'm just like, I feel like I'm on a high right now, and I don't feel like coming down anytime soon.
And you shouldn't have to.
I'm not.
I just want to let you know you shouldn't have to. So going into this movie, coming from, you got True to the Game, like people know you from that. For those that know you that. I recently, during the pandemic, watched Dutch. I'm like, she was in that too. When I'm telling you this black woman has so many credits to her name, it's really not fair to how young you are in the game, but have worked with a range of actors from Sterling K. Brown, working with Vivica Fox, Columbus Short. I mean, you've worked with all the heavy hitters already.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, dreams do like really come true. And again, with these people, I get to learn so much from being on set with them. And as someone who's new and on the come up, you never expect for your career to take off like as fast as it kind of is. So to even be doing Beast, I'm like, this is only the beginning too. Like, what's next? I literally cannot wait to see, like, you know, what else I'm going to be doing and who I'm going to be working alongside of. I've got to learn so much and work with so many cool people. So it's amazing.
Absolutely. So really breaking down your character for this role. And because it's been in the news, you beat out Idris' actual daughter for this role. So bloodline couldn't keep you away from this role. Like, it's pretty serious. You being the oldest of two daughters, you know, being raised under a single dad. How did you, you know, kind of put yourself in that role?
You know what? I had to use substitution for sure. And then I just kind of like really thought about how it would be for a character to be going through so much, you know what I mean? So I had to imagine that. And then in regards to like beating out the daughter, I always feel like what's for you is going to always be for you. I'm sure she's super talented and all of that good stuff, and if it was meant for her, she would have gotten it, but it's so many other roles out there. And her dad is Idris Elba. Like, she's going to get something so big and so huge in due time. Like, God's timing, God's plan. That's how I always look at it personally.
Very much so, especially on Sunday sermons. And I want to dig into how, you know, in that role you played, you went there in regards to like kind of having this riff with your dad. And what was the motivation in trying to put your mind state where you're like, all right, I know this Idris, and I know I need to like not like you because you're super likable, but I gotta, you know, really sell this as, hey, we ain't really rocking right now. Like, I'm here, but I'm not really here.
You know what? I started journaling too as if I was Mir, which is my character, and not Iyana. And Idris is so sweet, and he's so funny on set. So it's kind of hard for me to, like, when the camera's turned on, to not see him as, like, this lovable person and to see him as this person that Mir kind of, like, despises in a way or is going through a lot with. So I just had to, like, think about, right, like, these scenarios. Like, okay, he did this to her. He treated her this way or treated the mom this way. And just literally use my imagination to, like, you know, create that backstory, so to say. So it was a little bit challenging, and that's why I really do love this role, because it was, you know, it did stretch me and did make me have to, like, really do hard work and stuff, but it worked out perfectly.
All right, so how was it actually filming in Africa for this? Because this wasn't green screen, like, y'all was out there. And I'm like, what, that?
All types of animals.
Yes, everything. And Will Packer shot this incredible, again, if you have not seen it, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's truly, before all the action starts, it's a wonderful, like, kind of commercial for, like, you need to come visit us in Africa.
Yeah. Getting to go out there. First of all, a lot of people was like, oh, you guys could have probably done this in, like, Atlanta or wherever with green screen, but it wouldn't have been as authentic. So when I even got the call that I booked it and found out we were shooting in, like, South Africa, I was like, oh, this is crazy. As soon as we touched down, I was just in awe looking at everything. It's beautiful out there. We got to do so many game drives and different tours. And it was even this one place that we stayed, which was an actual hut. So it's like you would look up and you see all types of bugs. Even going into like my apartment that I had, like my mom and I would be looking for bats and stuff and spiders in the tub. It was a really different experience. But I feel like it got me out of my comfort zone in a lot of like different ways. So it was exciting. At first I was scared. I was very nervous because I'm scared of bugs and pretty much everything. But I had to get out of that comfort zone and just like, enjoy the moment and understand that this is not going to happen often,
All right, and then growing up in front of the camera, because you've been in the industry, I want to say since like 2016, if not earlier, and here we are in 2022 and getting outside of a quote-unquote pandemic and potentially getting ready to go into another one. How have you kind of maneuvered through that with acting, with the job, and just really trying to grow up and develop into the own woman you're trying to be?
Yeah, even in regards to the pandemic, first I was a little bit kind of disappointed because jobs were kind of like on hold and it was a pause and stuff. But then I discovered acting classes via Zoom and online, so I was still making sure to make sure that I'm learning and practicing my acting and stuff. So that's how I kind of navigated through the pandemic and just adjusting in terms of like self-tapes and all of that stuff too. And I kind of learned a lot about myself during the pandemic because I kind of was able to just focus on me, so to say. And then I got to watch a lot of TV and learn more about different TV shows and the roles that I want to play. And just literally create a better vision board to manifest the things that I want, which I'm really big on manifesting. So it all worked out for the best. And I hope we don't go into another pandemic. I feel it might happen, but I'm still trying to be optimistic about it.
I'm hoping we listened to guidelines this time, and I'm hoping we understood being inside wasn't the greatest for all of us.
It wasn't we got used to it, but I mean, I don't want to go back into the pandemic. I really don't. No.
Definitely. So moving into a space where you're doing several different things, including your own clothing brand line, your skincare line. How are you maneuvering as an entrepreneur as well? Because, of course, acting is, the bread and butter, but you also having your own lane to be in and make sure, hey, I need to have something else just in case, you know what? Let me do the Rihanna thing. I'm going to start here, but then let me really give y'all the real gusto, the real business.
You know what? I'm actually still trying to, figure it out because it was a while where I was just doing my shea butters and my skincare line. And then acting started to, really pick up. So I'm at the point where I'm trying to, rebrand my skincare line and my clothing line and, make sure I prioritize things because acting does come first to me. But like you said, I'm trying to be like Rihanna and have all these other businesses.
Yeah.
So I just have to make sure that I do better time management and maybe help, maybe employ people to help me out as well. So I'm still in the process of figuring it out, but we're gonna figure it out so I can do it all.
I mean, coming from a Brooklyn girl that just, gets it and understands, you got to be a jack of all trades.
Yes.
What's that upbringing from New York giving you that, transpires to, time here in Atlanta, now in LA?
Well, even going back to my Brooklyn days, my parents are actually in the entertainment industry. My dad's a manager. My mom, she helps him out as well. So I've always grown up behind the scenes and knowing what it comes with and knowing that sometimes it's no sleep, it's a grind, it's a hustle. So I feel like that helped me in terms of creating my own path and coming into this whole acting entertainment world because I know a little bit from them. So with that being said, I just had to kind of guide myself and figure things out and, just do what works best for Iyana so that I can succeed.
All right, so Iyana, what is one thing you can tell an aspiring actress to be hey, this is where I was in 2016 before I got the first gig. I would tell, 2016 version of me this.
That's a good one. I think I would tell 2016 version of me literally to keep going and never give up and know that what's for you is always for you, as I said before. I think that it was points when I first started acting where I was not depressed per se, but just maybe I'm not good enough, maybe this is not for me. But all I ever had to do was just keep going and be consistent and even write out real goals, maybe make vision boards and stuff. So maybe if I would have done that earlier too, my dreams would have manifested faster. But again, it's God's timing, not mine. So keep going. Be persistent, and in acting you get so many no's. Rejection is a real thing. Just knowing that you got it and training and being prepared really plays a huge part too. All
right, so what do we have coming up next? In acting it's never just oh, this is the the end all be all. There's always another project right around the corner. So what can you tell us without telling us too much?
I can tell you guys that I have some things in the works, but what I can for sure say is I want for you guys to check out the things that I've done. Of course, Abbott Elementary, if you guys have not checked it out, please do. You guys are going to love Taylor. I don't want to spoil it, but you guys are going to love her. I did an action film called Wayward, which is actually streaming on Amazon and BT, so you'll see me doing some more action stuff. It's fun. Okay. I have so many cool things that's out. And I'm manifesting a superhero role. I feel like I need to be on Marvel or something. I need to be running, doing some invisible stuff. I don't know. But stay tuned for what's next because big things coming.
I like that. I like that a lot because I think the superhero role is definitely a lane you can, really do your thing in.
Thank you. So we're manifesting that right now.
Absolutely. Right now. You heard it here first on Magic 107.5, 97.5 that Iyana Halley's going to be in a superhero film near you. Trust and believe. I definitely want to make sure I hit the range that you've given from 2016 until now because, from doing True to the Game, from doing The Hate You Give, from doing Abbott Elementary where you're, able to be funny and things like that on TV, to now Beast, which is, I think is one of the most serious roles you've taken. Yeah. How does that fall into the bigger scheme of like what you want to accomplish with your career?
You know what, like you said, just in terms of like all of these things being different in the range, Beast is such a huge step because they get to see me in a more serious light. They get to see me actually like having a character arc and a real journey. The other roles they were all amazing, but they were kind of smaller. With this, you really see her growth and her changing and all of that stuff in regards to Mira. I even did a film called Licorice Pizza, which was fun. It was super, like maybe a little bit more sexy and a little bit older and more grown, so that was exciting because I got to do something different. Like you said, Abbott Elementary, I got to be funny. This is she's like a really sweet character, so every role in my opinion, or most of the roles I should say, are different, and it shows that like I have range. I don't just have to play the sweet girl. I can play mean, I can play this, I can play that, so it's all just, it's amazing because I see the growth in my work for sure. So again, I'm excited for what's next.
All right, now there's going to be someone that's going to be mad if I don't ask. How do you feel This Is Us ended? Do you feel like everything had come full circle for everyone, or was it just like, yeah, sure, y'all want to be done because we need enough? Like, This Is Us global phenomenon. It's not just, old, young, black, white. It literally covered every spectrum. But how do you feel as someone that played on the series? Do you feel comfortable in how it ended, or like, y'all sure y'all want to come back?
You know what? I feel comfortable with how it ended because I believe that everything like has a time period to, expire, so to say. And I feel like they tied it up well. At the end, we saw it was sad, but we still had like the happy moments. I mean, This Is a sad, emotional show, period.
Very much so.
But I feel like they covered everything that they needed to, and on to the next for all of the actors, all of the writers, and the cast and crew, and all of that stuff. But I would say that it ended pretty well.
All right, this one I just had to get someone from the inside out because there's people that get upset with how certain things ended, like Game of Thrones and things of that nature. So I just, for one of the bigger sitcoms in like our generation, that your mom, your sister, your cousins, all y'all could be around watching TV, watching it.
Yeah.
Got to get the insight from someone that actually lived it. Thank you for your time today. Make sure you check out Beast. Make sure you follow. Give me your social media so they can follow you directly.
So it's at the Iyana Halley. So TheIyanahalley.
And make sure you follow right now. This career is going to take off, and I'm going to keep this interview very, very close to the cuff because it's going to be worth something one day. If it's not today, tomorrow, not tomorrow, next week. I promise you that. We just manifesting all the greatness that's going to come out of this interview right here. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much.